G'day, you wonderful listeners. This is episode 53 of Trev's Talk, and I'm your host, Trev. Last week, I left off talking about how Anthony Albanese is performing as Prime Minister of Australia. I believe he is right to choose an inquiry before a Royal Commission so he can move fast on getting better gun control as a priority. Less guns, less problems. More guns, more problems. Look at America. Anthony must move hard and fast before impact of the Bondi massacre dies down. The gun lobby is powerful and will try to stop any restriction on gun possession. When Anthony can see more gun control is at hand, then he can put great effort into lessening anti-Semitism. If he can't see how to lessen anti-Semitism with an inquiry, then perhaps he should opt for a Royal Commission. Lots of the people crying out for a Royal Commission would not have a clue on how such a commission would lessen anti-Semitism. They are just falling in with the mob, stirred up by the fear-mongering of Anthony's political opponents. There have been speeches galore by opportunistic politicians who smell blood and sense it a good time politically for attacking Albanese. And truthfully, Royal Commissions are long drawn-out affairs, with recommendations put forward often years after the event being investigated. Look at robo-debt. There are still serious problems encountered by sufferers of robo-debt now, and it's a very long time since that fiasco took place. A proper inquiry in that case would probably have done just as much good, faster and cheaper. So at the time of preparing this podcast, our elected Prime Minister seems to be keeping a cool head, not panicking at all, and trying to move first and fast on getting better gun control. Let's give him a little time with an easing of the mob mentality. Let's filter out any political hysteria and see what he does accomplish when doing things his way. I mentioned last episode that I was reaching out to Vinnies and Salvos to join us in the Moody Scholarship Fund project. Well, it has taken some juggling around to get it set, but I have an interview scheduled for a couple of days' time with the State President of Vinnies. That meeting will be crucial. If it should happen, I can't talk him into becoming a co-founder in the fund project. It would be a mighty setback to my plans. If he does come on board and shows enthusiasm, it will open the way to procuring the Salvos as well. Once the fund project is established here in West Australia, it can be copied in other states and territories. So you can see the fund project, if accepted here in the West, will, with my help, become a national project in coming years. Switching the Anglican and Catholic Archdiocese from the Food Patrol project to the Scholarship project means the Medjugorje Centre Food Patrol project is now short of that annual income. That means I must get a meeting with my friend Phil at Canning Vale Toyota and ask for his help again in getting funds from selling advertising space on our minibus. So I'm scheduling our now due private car servicing with Canning Vale Toyota for tomorrow, and we'll try for a meeting with Phil while the car service is taking place. Phil believes in what the Medjugorje Centre does as a charity and has helped me before in getting funds from parties he knows. So hopefully he will work that magic once more and we will get some funds for running the Food Patrol project. I will let you know how it goes. Well, time has gone past and 3 major things have happened concerning things discussed earlier. Firstly, our Prime Minister has succumbed to the mounting pressure that arose from the efforts of political opponents to inflame public desire for a royal commission into the Bondi Beach massacre. I believe Albanese has handled his capitulation well, and I hope that does not make him take his eye off gun control. There is an immediate need for gun control legislation to be strongly tightened and enforced. As I said before, less guns means less problems, and a full federal royal commission should mean less anti-Semitism. Secondly, I have had a good meeting with Phil, my friend at Canning Vale Toyota. I brought him up to speed on the Medjugorje Centre, adding the Moody Scholarship Fund to the other projects the charity was previously and is still running. He was happy to chat with me while my vehicle was being serviced. I took invoices for advertising on the sides of the charity's minibus made out to previous advertisers that Phil had procured for me initially, and Phil has taken those invoices and stated he would make them happen. There were 3 advertisers, and I am hopeful that Phil will be successful so that the charity receives some funds from this over the next few weeks. Now, thirdly, I've mentioned earlier that I was looking forward to a meeting with the state president of Vinnies to see if I could procure Vinnies as a co-founder to the Moody Scholarship Fund project. Well, wonderful listeners, I am seriously stoked about that meeting. It was very encouraging. Not only did the state president agree with me that the Scholarship Fund project was a good fit for Vinnies, but he has taken an invoice I had made out previously for a grant to the fund and indicated it would be paid. So, Vinnies is definitely coming on board as one of the 4 co-founders I am aiming for. I mentioned to the state president that it would be very helpful if he could give me some sort of intro to the head person of the Salvos. I remarked that I knew there had been some financial collaboration between the Salvos and Vinnies in the past, and it would be good if I could pitch my case for the Salvos to come on board as a co-founder to a Salvos representative that had worked before with Vinnies. Anyway, the state president said he would investigate it and see if he could find out who a good rep for the Salvos would be and pass any knowledge he gained on to me. So that was good news for me. I feel that if Vinnies passed me on to the Salvos rep, I would not be approaching them cold, so to speak. I would be given a warm start to any Salvos meeting. I seem to remember an occasion when Vinnies and the Salvos collaborated financially on a homeless shelter situated in Perth City, and I assume the Salvos would have a reconciliation action plan policy, just as Vinnies and lots of other organisations do. These thoughts, and the success I just gained with Vinnies, lead me to feeling pretty positive on securing the Salvos as co-founder number 4. I'm flying up to Darwin in a few days. I will stay up there for a week and mention to Vinnies state president that a scholarship fund project could likely be established in other states or territories, and I may ask him for an intro to the head person of Vinnies in Darwin in the future. It is very early days on thinking about projects in the Northern Territory, but while I'm going to be there anyway, I may see if I can have a chat with the principal of the school where my daughter works. I know from talking to my daughter that her school has a large cohort of Aboriginal students, and so could be a good school to receive a scholarship fund project. I need to have a chat with Pete, the principal of our Aboriginal school, to learn how the scholarship project works in the way of getting the selected students the various supplies they need, like uniforms, books, etc. How does that work? And is it totally reliant on him? Or is there a succession plan if he leaves the school? I need to know about that sort of thing so I can pass that on to any other school I might like to involve in a scholarship fund project. Well, wonderful listeners, that's it again for this week. Please follow if you're on Spotify, or subscribe if on YouTube. Have a say and comment on whichever platform you use. This is Trev tuning out.